Okay, welcome back to one more presentation on the cloud paradigm, which we have been discussing about in our previous class or the previous presentation. We have already seen some of the important aspects related to the cloud computing, like what exactly we mean by the virtualization, right? Then the different features, advantages of the cloud computing. There are certain concerns or the limitations, right? And also the different models which are used in the cloud deployment, like public cloud, private cloud, community cloud, and hybrid cloud, right? So these were the different things that we discussed in the previous presentation, and we had started with these things, that is everything as a service, that is XaaS model. So basically these things, whether it is SaaS, that is the service as the software as a service, or the platform as a service, or the infrastructure as a service, or the data as the service, right? All these things contribute to the cloud computing. Basically these things describe how you can use the cloud for your business application, right? How you can use the cloud for your business applications. So this is a very important thing, because ultimately whatever we study in our the IoT, finally the cloud or any kind of services that we have, they should be useful for the final business application. The very basic definition of our IoT will take us to the business applications or the business intelligence at the application layer, right? The provisions are given by the various service providers, right? So like your cloud computing, or could it be anything else, right? So they should finally make you to deploy some kind of the business applications. So how best you can use the cloud service for the business application, that is described by these things, that is software as a service, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and data as a service. Now let us try to see each of these things in a slightly detailed manner. You can start now with the first one, the software as a service, SaaS, right? So here when you look here, as long as the SaaS is concerned, the responsibilities of the cloud service provider, if it is the software control, maintenance, updation of the new version and the infrastructure, and platform and resource requirement. So this is called as the software as the service, right? So there are certain companies or the service providers like BigCommerce. You must have heard about the BigCommerce, almost all the Google apps, right? You have something called as the Dropbox, then you have got HubSpot, so many things. I mentioned a few of them, right? So these are all the examples of the software as a service. Okay. Now basically when I speak about the software as a service, as I've already shown you here, right? So the responsibilities of these providers is the software control, then followed by the maintenance, okay, maintenance, and even the updation of whenever the new version has come into picture, right? So the updation of that infrastructure, and the platform and the resource requirement, and finally all these things are delivered over the internet only, right? Ultimately whoever is the end user, they should be made available with the different softwares, right, as applicable to the usage of the cloud service. This is what is the meaning of software as the service, right? Maybe there are subscription fees, right? So without subscription fees, it is not possible for the end users to realize any kind of the application, right? Maybe monthly or yearly, that kind of subscription fees will be there. So now what is the basic advantage of going with the software as a service for the end user is that being the end user, one need not install and run any software applications, right? So we have so many software applications as per our customized requirements are concerned. But when you use the cloud service as the software as a service, you are not required to install or run any software applications on your computer, or not necessary that it is in any computer you need not install or run any software, because everything that you need for your applications, right, so they are available in your internet, right? And only thing is that you need to log on to those things. I have already made a mention about some of the platforms, right? So you have to log on after paying the required fees or the subscriptions, whatever you have, right? So you can have the access of the software from any device, anytime, but as long as there is internet connection, right? So maybe you have the personalized logins and other things, right? So, and you no longer need to engage an IT specialist to download the software on your mobiles or computers or multiple computers, right? Or throughout your office, or you need not worry about keeping the software update, right? And checking for the virus, all those things. So generally that's what we generally do whenever we have installed some software and all, right? So suppose if you have put an antivirus software, so after the prescribed time is over, you need to update, you need to pay for extra, all those things are there. So you will be relieved from all these issues if you use software as a service in your cloud paradigm, right? So now everything here will be taken care of by your cloud. All the software needed applications, right? So they they are taken care of by the cloud. And most the providers, the service providers of SaaS, that is software as a service providers, right? Basically they operate on a subscription model, right? So that you know all these things, right? Monthly account fee or something like that, right? And exactly how much the software will cost and can budget accordingly without without much worrying about the hidden costs or something like that. So therefore you can have the comparison of having the software on your own, or taking the service from the cloud for your software applications, right? And most of the subscriptions, whatever you have as the SaaS, right? So they include maintenance, compliance, security services, right? Which otherwise would be very time consuming for you if you want to have your own services, right? And sometimes they offer you the out of the box solutions, right? Maybe simple setup, right? Suppose if you want to have your own software setup for a very complex organizations, you need to spend lot of time and lot of human infrastructure to do that, right? So without doing all those things, it is possible for you to make use of the software as a service. And basically in a nutshell, the software as a service are available over the internet. This is one thing. The second thing is that they are hosted on a remote server. So now I have some application here, right? So I have connected it to the internet. Okay, this is my internet. Somewhere here you have got the remote server. So whatever you need to install in your system, right, they are taken care of by the remote server by a third party service provider, right? And it is always scalable, right? you can have the small one, you can have the medium one, you can have the enterprise level business, right? In many cases you may be aware of all these things, right? So security is included, right? The compliances, maintenance, all these things will be coming under the total subscription cost, right? So this is what we mean by the software as a service, and they are ideal when to use them, right? So tomorrow if you want to have your own business started, right, so you have the choice between having the software on your own, or you want to take the cloud as your SaaS. So when to use this, that is also very, very important. Basically these platforms are ideal when you want an application to run smoothly and reliably with minimum inputs from you. You don't have to give too many inputs for your application to run. So when you want your application to run smoothly, also in a reliable manner with minimum inputs from you, then you can think of going with your software as a service, right? You can have many examples, right? So email server, for example, okay, you want to know that you will continue to send and receive the emails without making any changes in your email settings or worry about the updates, right? So suppose, imagine if your email server went under because you forgot some update, and so suppose if it is down for so many days, it is not possible for you to afford, right? As long as you are a businessman, right? Whenever you are running a business enterprise, right? So now if you use this SaaS platform to run your email inbox, right? So the chances of something going wrong will be very, very less, right? Because you will be judiciously selecting the service provider as per their reputation, and the possibilities of going wrong would be always very, very less. So therefore you can think of the SaaS provider, the service providers, in such situations, right? So you have got so many type of the service providers. I have already made mention about all these things just before. So this is what is the software as a service, right? So you have the software available by a third party service provider through the internet, and you can make use of the software as a service. This is the first one. Now with that we will go to the next one, that is called as PaaS. We have already spoken about this. Platform as a service, right? So hardware as well as the software tools being made available, this is called as the platform as a service, right? So you can quickly go through the things which I have shown here. Responsibilities of the cloud service provider as per the developer's requirement of what? The platform. Could it be network, resources, maintenance, updation, and security, right? So in the previous one, when we discussed about the software, right, we did not come across too many things. We have taken care of only the software part of it, but here you have the software as well as the hardware, the platform, the network, the resources, maintenance, updation, and the security, right? So you have got so many examples, right? So you have got Windows Azure, you must have come across this, right? You have there is one more important service provider which is called as Magneto Commerce Cloud, right? OpenShift, right? So many such things are there, right? Beanstack. These are all the different the service providers as long as PaaS is concerned, right? So now let us look into some more aspects related to this PaaS, platform as a service, both software as well as the hardware, right? Basically, a vendor, that means a PaaS vendor, provides the hardware as well as the software tools over the internet, and the people, I mean the end users, right, they use these tools to develop their own applications, right? And again, the delivery is through the internet, similar to how you have the SaaS, right? Here also the delivery is to through the internet, and basically this PaaS is used primarily by the developers who are building softwares or applications, right? If at all you want to build a software, or if you at all you want to use build an application, then this PaaS is used, right? Basically, the PaaS solution provides the platform for the developers to create unique customized software. I will come to this point, what exactly we mean by unique and customized software, right? That means the developers don't need to start from the scratch, right? Whenever you develop a application or whenever you develop a software, right, the general tendency is you start from the scratch, the basic, very fundamental or the basic things, right? But up to here, if something is made available to you by taking care of all the fundamentals that is required to develop an application, and over which you need to have your customized requirements, right? So in such cases, definitely your PaaS is one of the most important options, right? The developers do not need to start from the scratch while creating the applications, right? Lot of time and money will be saved, right, in writing the extensive codes in this particular thing, right? And for example, the business people, right, so who want to create unique applications without spending taking a lot of responsibility, right? So some of the basic models are available. You build the things on from those basic models so that you can save a lot of time as well as what you can call as money, right, based on that. So this is one important thing as long as the PaaS is concerned, right? Again, if you want to look into some of the important characteristics of this PaaS, they are accessible by multiple users. This PaaS is accessible by multiple users. PaaS is accessible by multiple users, and it is also scalable, as I've already told you, right? You can definitely choose from the various available tiers of resources, whether it is small, medium, or the enterprise type of the network, depending upon your requirement, right? Virtualization of the technology, again, we have already made a mention about virtualization, right? What exactly is the meaning of the virtualization? We have already seen. You try to see it from one particular end, but in the back end it may be the multiple users, the multiple services, multiple platforms. This is what we mean by the virtualization, right? So it is also very easy to run without much administrative knowledge. So this is a very, very important point to be noted, right? It is very easy to run without much administrative knowledge. So these are some of the important characteristics of your platform as a service, right? So now, when will you select the platform as a service, right? So basically it is very effective, and it is also the time effective way of developers to create a unique applications from a common model or the common platform, right? So now, up, say for example, see up to here, you know something, this is already there, right? So now from here, you want to develop your own system, you want to have the design of your own system depending upon your requirement, depending upon your way of customization. In such cases, right, so this PaaS can be used, platform as a service can be used. It basically allows the developer to focus on the creative side of app development. So many basic models may be available on that. How creative would be your application, right? So if at all you want to concentrate on the creative part of your application, right, so then probably this PaaS is advisable, right? And instead of going, as I've already told you, instead of going from the scratch pads, right, so the very basic code, right, so instead of wasting the time on doing the same thing again which is already there as a service, right, you can always concentrate on the customization or the creative part of your development. In such cases, right, you can definitely have the PaaS, right? So you have got so many examples, right? You have Amazon Web Services, right, and many which I have already mentioned just now, right? As long as the e-commerce is concerned, I have already told you about this Magneto Commerce Cloud, right? So this is one of the popular examples of PaaS. You can go through the website of these things, right, and you can definitely come to know how exactly whatever the different parameters I have mentioned here, or on a common basic platform, how it is possible for you to develop your own customized models or the applications, right? So that you can definitely understand as long as if you visit the different websites corresponding to these things, right? So this is about the platform as the service, responsibilities of the cloud service provider as per the developer's requirement, the platform, right, the basic platform which I have already made a mention about, the network. Okay, you have the network here, you have the resources available somewhere here in your cloud, right? Maintenance, of course, it is a part, updation, and the security. When all these things are taken care of, you call it as a PaaS service. Okay, so now we have already seen SaaS and PaaS. Now let us move on to the next one. Maybe some examples which I have already made a mention earlier. Some other examples are also there: Google App Engine, MS Azure, right, Xively or Nimbits. Of course, we will have some discussion about the Nimbits. It is incorporated in your the curriculum, right? AWS IoT, IBM IoT Foundation, Cisco IoT, right, and TCS CUP. These are some of the examples of the platform as service, and you can definitely look into the details of these examples by virtue of studying what exactly we mean by Nimbits. Okay, these are some of the examples of PaaS. Then the third one is called as IaaS, right? So that is the infrastructure as service. So this is another important thing, right? IaaS, infrastructure as the service. So again, we will see this infrastructure as a service. The responsibilities of the cloud service provider is a service model where the applications develop or use the infrastructure. What do we mean by infrastructure? Could it be the computing system? Could it be the network? Could it be the security related issues which are made available through internet, on demand, or on rent, right, by a developer or the user, right? You want to have the complete infrastructure here. Software is one part, platform is one part. Now you wish to have the complete infrastructure. Could it be the computing system? Could it be the network? Or it could be the security. So this is called as the infrastructure as the service, right? So Basically, it offers the service, pay as you go storage. This is called as pay as you go storage, right? So whenever you want to go for the cloud service, you pay and you can have the access of your networking and other things, right? So, the IaaS gives the user cloud-based alternative to on-premise infrastructure, so business can avoid investing on expensive on-site resources, right? So the entire see, all these things are related to each other. Could it be SaaS, could it be PaaS, or could it be IaaS? But the way in which you access the service, the complexity keeps growing. Here we are looking at the entire infrastructure to be provided based on the requirement. Of course, there are agreements, the payment related issues, subscriptions and other things, right? So again, the delivery of this IaaS is on the internet only, through the internet only, right? So now, what are the major advantages here is that maintaining on-premise IT infrastructure is costly and labor intensive. So what I mean by IT infrastructure is the computing systems, network and security, right? So the total of these things refer to as the infrastructure here, right? You just try to imagine how complex or how vast would be the computing systems, network and security whenever you are running a big enterprises or a big business, right? So all these things are being provided by the cloud, right? So whenever it is not possible to afford the costly IT infrastructure, right? Maybe it is not possible to afford the high quality the human resources in the IT infrastructures. It is always advisable to go with the IaaS, right? The infrastructure as the service, right? With IaaS, you can buy what you need, as you need, and purchase more as your business grows. So this is a very, very important thing, right? What you need, when you need, that you can take. At the same time, if you feel that your business is growing, you can always have the additional buying from the the service providers. So this will be entirely different from having a permanent infrastructure, fixed infrastructure before your business grows. I hope you can make out the difference between what is the meaning of buying the things and what is the meaning of getting the things on the rent basis in the phase wise manner depending upon the requirement, right? Again, your IaaS solutions are very flexible, very scalable. I have already told you, right? And you can replace it whenever you need without losing the money or your initial investment, right? Whenever you don't want that service, since you are taking it on the rental basis, you can always replace. You can take it from a better service provider if you feel that your business requires that kind of the infrastructure which is not given by your original service provider. You can always go with the other service providers, right? So the entire control of your infrastructure would be with you, right? So because it is a virtual infrastructure for you, it is not the real infrastructure, it is a virtual infrastructure, okay? And you need not have any IT experts, right? What you can call as IT contractor, right? So whatever is there, you can always have it through your IaaS service providers, right? Highly flexible, highly scalable. It is again accessible by multiple users. It is cost effective also, right? As we have already seen in the earlier cases also. And now the question is when to have it, when to have the IaaS. We have already seen when to have your SaaS or PaaS, right? When to have IaaS, infrastructure as a service, right? It is beneficial to the businesses of all the shapes, all the dimensions, all the sizes, and it allows the complete control over your infrastructure and operates on a pay as you use model. It is called as pay as you use. This is called as pay as you use model, right? So therefore it is always advisable to go with this kind of IaaS platforms as and when you want, right? So there is no specific reason, right, why you have to go for it, since it is a model which works with the concept of pay as you use, right? You can always go with this, right? And it becomes less common to invest in the physical hardware and IT infrastructures, right? So whenever in nowadays in all the kind of the applications, right? So the person or the people who run the business, right, they never want to go with this kind of infrastructure, right, which has to be deployed at his or her premises, but to go with the services, that is the infrastructure as a service, right? So physical hardware or IT infrastructure, whenever it is not advisable, choosing your IaaS alternative is a safer and more reliable option. Okay, so this is one more type of the service that your cloud computing provides, along with SaaS, PaaS, IaaS. Now let us look into some more aspects. That is the last one, that is called as the data as a service. That is called as DaaS. In many of the the models which we generally cross in the computing, we would find only the first three, right? That is SaaS, then your PaaS, then your IaaS. But when I speak about our IoT scenario, right, even you find the DaaS into consideration. Again, the responsibilities of a data center service provider in DaaS are service model where the data store or the data warehouse is made available through the internet on demand or on rent. Pay as per your use in multi-tenancy model. Multi-tenancy model means you have so many the customers, right? So whenever you want a particular data, you use them as per your requirement and accordingly you pay, right, to an enterprise. So now here the examples of DaaS, the data center management, you have 24/7 power, control network, maintenance, scale up, the data replicating, and mirror nodes, and system as well as the physical security, right? So again I have given you an example in our previous presentation wherein you have got a huge database of, say, CBSE class 12 students who have taken the examination this year, their phone number, their area, their locations, maybe how much score they have made in your class 12, their email ID and all. So this would be a very, very important data for many of the colleges and all to attract the students, right? So this database is available there somewhere. A college or an institution need not go in search of this particular data. There is somebody else who has got already this data in their repository, and accordingly, as and when the different people want to have the access to that data, they will have to use this particular service, which is called as data as a service. This is one thing. I had given you an example of the exit polls also, right? So you have the data collected from different kind of people. Finally, the analysis, how do you interpret their mood, how do you interpret their emotions, that all goes with the different people or the different entities which you perform this the exit poll and all, right? So the data is available, you have to make use of the data depending upon your requirement, right? So now suppose if I belong to Karnataka, I don't need the database of the CBSE students all over India. I may need the access of the customized the data who belong to Karnataka only, right? Okay, sometimes I may have the access to the data of the nearby states also. That is what is the customization. So as per your requirement, the customized data is made available. I mean, the entire data is available. You can selectively choose that particular data and make the use of those data depending upon your requirement. For 5,000 data, say 300 rupees. For 10,000 data, say 10,000 rupees. So like that they advertise, right? So once they advertise, depending upon your requirement, you can specifically select a particular data of your requirement. So this is called as DaaS, the data as service, right? So now if you look at this diagram, so probably you should be able to understand how exactly you can have all the four, that is PaaS, SaaS, IaaS and DaaS cloud services, right? So you can quickly look at this diagram. You can see here you have the data center here, right? So it is with some of the service providers like your Tata Communication, GoGrid Virtual Services, Amazon Virtual Services, EC2, right? So these are the data center. Then you go to this, you can see here Amazon Web Service and Virtual Services, GoGrid Virtual Services, Elastic Computing Cloud, Cloud.com Open Source, IaaS, Cisco IaaS. So from your DaaS you go to your IaaS. Then these are the database, right? Infrastructure as the service, the data as the service, the platform as the service. So now when you speak about the platform as the service, some of the examples which you already made mention earlier are the Google App Engine, right? SuiteFlex, MS Azure, Microsoft Azure, Windows Live, EC2 Server, GoGrid and all. These are all the examples of the platform as the service, right? So the software as the service, as you can see, again your Google Docs, Office 365, this is one of the popular services, right? MS Windows Live, MS Exchange Labs, right? Then Salesforce.com, Extendable CRM. These are all the different service providers. So by means of which you can have where exactly your DaaS stands, right? Where exactly your IaaS stands, infrastructure as a service, where exactly your PaaS stands, and where exactly your SaaS stands, right? Togetherly, all these things together will make your cloud services, right? The data, platform, then software, as well as the infrastructure. The infrastructure is the biggest one here, right? So you have many things combined together. So physically being an end user, you are relieved from using the infrastructure. You hire it, you rent it based on the availability. So this is what is the complete structure of the PaaS, SaaS, IaaS and DaaS as the cloud service. Okay. So now we have some examples on these things, right? So Nimbits, I have already made a mention about this, the cloud IoT based service using the server at the edges. After having seen what exactly we mean by the PaaS, SaaS, IaaS and DaaS, these things are to be endorsed by some of the examples, typical examples, by taking a specific service providers. So this I will take up in my next presentation. Thank you. If you have any doubt here, please do ask now.